Hi everyone, welcome back. This week we're going to read the first three chapters of the book of Joshua. Chapter 1. After Moses, the servant of the Lord, had died, the Lord said to Moses' aide, Joshua, son of Nun, My servant Moses is dead, so prepare to cross the Jordan here with all the people into the land I will give to the Israelites. As I promised Moses, I will deliver to you every place where you set foot. Your domain is to be all the land of the Hittites, from the desert and from Lebanon east to the great river Euphrates, and west to the great sea. No one can withstand you while you live. I will be with you as I was with Moses. I will not leave you nor forsake you. Be firm and steadfast, so that you may give this people possession of the land which I swore to their fathers I would give them. Above all, be firm and steadfast, taking care to observe the entire law which my servant Moses enjoined on you. Do not swerve from it either to the right or to the left, that you may succeed wherever you go. Keep this book of the law on your lips. Recite it by day and by night, that you may observe carefully all that is written in it. Then you will successfully attain your goal. I command you, be firm and steadfast. Do not fear nor be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. So Joshua commanded the officers of the people, Go through the camp and instruct the people. Prepare your provisions, for 3 days from now you shall cross the Jordan here to march in and take possession of the land which the Lord your God is giving you. Joshua reminded the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh, Remember what Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you when he said, The Lord your God will permit you to settle in this land. Your wives, your children, and your livestock shall remain in the land Moses gave you here beyond the Jordan. But all the warriors among you must cross over armed ahead of your kinsmen, and you must help them, until the Lord has settled your kinsmen, and they, like you, possess the land which the Lord your God is giving them. Afterward you may return and occupy your own land, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, has given you east of the Jordan. We will do all you have commanded us, they answered Joshua, and we will go wherever you send us. We will obey you as completely as we obeyed Moses. But may the Lord your God be with you as he was with Moses. If anyone rebels against your orders and does not obey every command you give him, he shall be put to death. But be firm and steadfast. Chapter 2. Then Joshua, son of Nun, secretly sent out 2 spies from Shittim, saying, Go reconnoiter the land in Jericho. When the 2 reached Jericho, they went into the house of a harlot named Rahab, where they lodged. But a report was brought to the king of Jericho that some Israelites had come there that night to spy out the land. So the king of Jericho sent Rahab the order, Put out the visitors who have entered your house, for they have come to spy on the entire land. The woman had taken the 2 men and hidden them. So she said, True, the men you speak of came to me, but I did not know where they came from. At dark, when it was time for the gate to be shut, they left, and I do not know where they went. And that was not true. She lied to the king for the 2 spies. You will have to pursue them immediately to overtake them. Now she had led them to the roof and hidden them among her stalks of flax spread out there. But the pursuers set out along the way to the fords of the Jordan, and once they had left, the gate was shut. Before the spies fell asleep, Rahab came to them on the roof and said, I know that the Lord has given you the land, that a dread of you has come upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land are overcome with fear of you. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the waters of the Red Sea before you when you came out of Egypt, and how you dealt with Sihon and Og, the 2 kings of the Amorites beyond the Jordan, whom you doomed to destruction. And at these reports we are disheartened. Everyone is discouraged because of you, since the Lord your God is God in heaven above and on earth below. Now then, swear to me by the Lord that, since I am showing kindness to you, you in turn will show kindness to my family, and give me an unmistakable token that you are to spare my father and mother, brothers and sisters, and all their kin, and save us from death. We pledge our lives for yours. The men answered her, If you do not betray this errand of ours, we will be faithful in showing kindness to you when the Lord gives us the land. Then she let them down through the window with a rope, for she lived in a house built into the city wall. Go up into the hill country, she suggested to them, that your pursuers may not find you. Hide there for 3 days until they return, then you may proceed on your way. The men answered her, This is how we will fulfill the oath you made us take. When we come into the land, tie this scarlet cord in the window through which you are letting us down, and gather your father and mother, your brothers, and all your family into your house. Should any of them pass outside the doors of your house, he will be responsible for his own death, and we shall be guiltless, but we shall be responsible for anyone in the house with you is harmed, if anyone in the house with you is harmed. If, however, you betray this errand of ours, we shall be quit of the oath you have made us take. Let it be as you say, she replied, and bade them farewell. When they were gone, she tied the scarlet cord, just a red rope, scarlet cord in the window. They went up into the hills, where they stayed 3 days until their pursuers, who had sought them all along the road without finding them, returned. Then the two came back down from the hills, crossed the Jordan to Joshua, son of Nun, and they reported all that had befallen them. They assured Joshua, "The Lord has delivered all this land into our power. Indeed, all the inhabitants of the land are overcome with fear of us." Chapter 3. Early the next morning, Joshua moved with all the Israelites from Shittim to the Jordan, where they lodged before crossing over. 3 days later, the officers went through the camp and issued these instructions to the people. When you see the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord your God, which the Levitical priests will carry, you must also break camp and follow it, that you may know the way to take, for you have not gone over this road before. But let there be a space of 2,000 cubits between you and the ark. Do not come nearer to it. Joshua also said to the people, "Sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will perform wonders among you." And he directed the priests to take up the ark of the covenant and go on ahead of the people, and they did so. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Today I will begin to exalt you in the sight of all Israel, that they may know I am with you, as I was with Moses. Now command the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant to come to a halt in the Jordan when they reach the edge of the waters." So Joshua said to the Israelites, "Come here and listen to the words of the Lord your God." He continued, "This is how you will know there is a living God in your midst, who at your approach will dispossess the Canaanites, Hittites, Hivites, Perizzites, Girgashites, Amorites, and Jebusites. The Ark of the Covenant of the Lord of the whole earth will precede you. It'll go first. Will precede you into the Jordan. Now choose 12 men, one from each of the tribes of Israel. When the soles of their feet, the feet of the priests carrying the Ark of the Lord of the whole earth, touch the water of the Jordan, it will cease to flow, for the water flowing down from upstream will halt in a solid bank." I'm going to read that part again. When the soles of the feet of the priests carrying the Ark of the Lord of the whole earth, touch the water of the Jordan, it will cease to flow, for the water flowing down from upstream will halt in a solid bank. The people struck their tents to cross the Jordan, with the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant ahead of them. No sooner had these priestly bearers of the Ark waded into the waters at the edge of the Jordan, which overflows all its banks during the entire season of the harvest, than the waters flowing from upstream halted, backing up in a solid mass for a very great distance indeed, from Adam, a city in the direction of Zarethan, while those flowing downstream toward the salt sea of the Arabah disappeared entirely. Thus the people crossed over opposite Jericho. While all Israel crossed on dry ground, the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord remained motionless on dry ground in the bed of the Jordan until the whole nation had completed the passage. We're going to stop there for now, because next week we'll start with them on the other side of the Jordan. But things to remember here. There was a woman in Jericho, and when the spies that Joshua had sent, he sent 2 spies to check out what was going on across the Jordan in Jericho. The king found out and knew that these 2 men had entered this woman who wasn't an upright. She wasn't the most godly of women. She didn't behave as she should have. They entered her home, and the king said to her, "I know they're here. Where are they?" She lied to her own king to say, "Oh, they left." And while we are told not to bear false witness, that's one of the commandments, she did this because she had heard about this people. Rumors spread quick. That's something that hasn't changed since the beginning of time. they'd been hearing tales of this people that their God, because people in that time had different gods, as we know. Theirs weren't real. Our God, the God of the Israelites, is the one true God of the world. But they'd grown, these other people in other parts of the world had grown up hearing about other gods. And then all of a sudden you hear about this people that their God is leading them out of Egypt, who put out all these plagues and who lifted, the waters of the sea so they could pass. She'd been hearing these stories about what their God does for them. And they're afraid because they know they're coming towards them, that this people is coming towards them. And it's, what do we do? So she knows of the Israelites and she lies on their behalf to her king. And then she says to the men, because I know who you are. I know that your God protects you. I believe you. I believe you when you say your God is God. Or at least she must be believing that, because she wouldn't have done this otherwise. She wouldn't have risked everything for them. I believe you. I ask you this in return. Because I protected you, I ask that you protect my family when your people come in, instead of wiping us out like you did these other peoples that your God led you through. And they say pretty much, if you don't betray us, put a red rope out of your window and we will protect you and your family. Bring your family into your walls, into your house, and we'll keep them safe. And she kept her end of the bargain. She didn't betray them. She said, let me help you escape. Go hide up there in these hills for 3 days, and then by then everyone looking for you will be gone. They will come back and you can go on your way. So I thought that was something worth remembering, because it comes back up later. So yeah, that's who Rahab was. She was a woman who protected the Israelite spies in Jericho. Yeah, and then they crossed the Jordan, much like when Moses led them with his staff across the sea, as the Ark of the Covenant was being carried by the 12. It's unlike the parting of the Red Sea, where it just like parted up the middle. This one, it's if the river is flowing this way, right? Let's say the Jericho is flowing this way. As they're walking across, it's like this side, it's like there was a wall here blocking it. So this side ended up being empty because the water kept flowing down, but it stopped here and they were able to walk across on dry land. Yeah, that's kind of cool. All right, I have rambled enough. We are going to stop there. Next week, we will continue on as the Israelites are across the Jordan, and see what happens in Jericho next as they get to the city. So anyways, on that note, let us close our eyes and say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. All right, I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.